As this year unfolds, our collective is rapidly processing major initiatory steps towards the creation of a new Earth. This includes a stark juxtaposition of polarizing energies, the collapse of the old world versus the birth of the new. According to the angels, your highest purpose and calling through this is to help anchor the consciousness of love in your heart, therefore making it more bountiful and accessible in our collective. This moon cycle is about to be an intense and fiery step in that direction. So tune in to your angels with me and get ready to receive divine guidance for the full moon cycle ahead, spanning from April 1st through 16th, 2026. On April 1st or 2nd, depending on your time zone, we have a full moon in the sign of balancing, harmonizing Libra. Balancing forces are exactly what our world needs most at this time, because we're about to see a stark contrast of polarizing forces enter the world stage. This includes an increase in the energies of rebellion and conflict around the world, which will be tempered by an equally powerful surge in the forces of kindness and compassion towards others. Libra symbolizes a state of consciousness that wisely senses the interconnectedness of well-being. Libra is the understanding that what is authentically good for others is also good for the individual self. It is the recognition that we belong to one another, that we are a part of one another, and that therefore we can never do harm to another without also doing harm to ourselves. So to heal others is to heal the self. What you give to others, you give to the self. That is the divine lesson surfacing through our collective consciousness at this time. That lesson has the potential to express in gentle, uplifting, and healing ways, as well as in intense, conflict-based or challenging ways. In your world, you get to choose how this lesson unfolds based on the mode of consciousness you choose to nurture and uplift within your heart. No matter what unfolds, this energy is going to create a surge in your ascension path. According to the angels, we're taking accelerated steps into the co-creation of New Earth now. This moon cycle will bring fast, intense, and powerful energy for it. With that in mind, let's dive into the angels' 3 messages for this full moon cycle. All 3 of the messages I'm about to share will apply to you and your path in some way, but if you'd like to get a sense of which message contains your leading theme or personal lesson, then pick a number now, 1, 2, or 3. Whichever number you're drawn to first will be your leading angel message. Ready? Here we go. The angel's first message for this moon cycle is all about revolution and change. This full moon cycle is activating a very eruptive, revolutionary energy. Some of the same themes of rebellion, conflict, and intensity that we saw during the eclipse season will likely resurge during this full moon cycle. Remember, we've been in an intense period of upheaval and collapse for the old world order. There is a lot that needs to be cleared in order to make way for a new and more loving, peaceful world. The angels are encouraging you not to go into fear, but instead to hold patient faith through these endings. The chaos is only temporary, and it is a step into an opportunity for something better. Now, one specific area in which this energy of change and upheaval is focusing is law and justice. Libra, the sign that our full moon is in, happens to be one of the signs that encompasses law and the balancing scales of justice. This energy is putting a spotlight on governments and political leaders, wherein we may see conflicts relating to the law, or an illumination of the truth, where justice will be called upon within the context of law and order in an attempt to bring back balance. Leaders that are stepping out of bounds of law and order may have to come under the spotlight to be brought back into the fold of justice, and thereby rebalance the checks and balances of power within governments and political systems. This has the potential to bring intensity and conflict, or peace and diplomacy, depending on the free will choices made around any conflicts that arise. The angels want you to know that you can actually affect world events directly by holding a mindset of peace. When you believe in and uphold peace as opposed to fear as your highest focus in your perspective of the world, You help to manifest that peace. So don't ever let yourself feel powerless in the face of the world's temporary chaos or upheaval. You are helping to shape it by holding a consciousness of faith, hope, and love. Now, some other areas that are coming into the spotlight on the world stage for this energy of upheaval include inflation, shipping, oil, banking, and currencies. This is directly tied to the erosion of illusions connected to the world's power systems and the illumination of truth where corruption and imbalance are at play. In other words, the collapse of the old world continues, but we do not need to fear this. The angels want us to know that we have the opportunity to create our own micro communities of care, abundance, freedom, and well-being right now. In fact, that is the real revolution happening behind the scenes. When everyday people come together to create communities that care for one another and support the flow of abundance and health, we thrive. And we also offer an important alternative to what is now ending from the old world's systems. If these words are lighting you up, then the angels want you to know that you are one of the light workers who is being called to act as a leader in bringing about new earth. You are being called not only to hold a consciousness of indomitable faith, hope, and love in your perspective of the world, but also to be a community leader and creator. Follow any ideas or passions that come to you, especially if they involve bringing people together and nourishing wholesome, real connections with others. Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions have the power to create a domino effect and positively shape the direction of all of this upheaval and rebirth we're experiencing. The angel's second message for this full moon cycle is that we're about to experience rapid progress in the unfolding of our divine purposes, especially where it concerns the formation of new earth consciousness and community. April is going to be a fiery and intense month of rapid acceleration and progress. There is so much Aries energy flowing through the world at this time, and this will only get more intense as we head towards the new moon in Aries on the 17th, where we'll have 9 orbiting bodies in Aries. Aries is the sign that embodies new beginnings. It also represents clarity, a strong sense of self, and direction. The angels want you to know that you're about to receive a clearing that will help you to courageously live in your authenticity and autonomy. This will result in mental clarity and fresh, revitalizing energy that you can apply to a new beginning in your life. By the way, we'll be living in a retrograde-free world, which started on the March 20th Aries equinox and will continue through May 6th. When all planets are moving direct, it symbolizes that we're in a forward-moving, action-packed time for fast progress. Not only that, but by April 26th, we'll also have all planets in either fire or air signs. Compared to water and earth, the fire and air elements create transformations very quickly and intensely. So this is your window of opportunity to put something new into action and make very real progress towards your personal goals. This energy of progress and newness is going to be especially strong for anything that helps to support the birthing of new earth. According to the angels, the equinox on March 20th was an ignition point for rebirth. All of humanity is now being called to rise and give birth to a new level of awareness and functioning. One of the areas where this theme of rebirth is most active is in the building of community. We're being called to embody the frequency of love's higher consciousness, then share it with others in community. Your presence is enough to spread that frequency. You don't always have to tell people about frequency, consciousness shifts, or anything directly spiritual in order to spread this light. Just by virtue of being present, holding a consciousness of love, and sharing your unique you-ness with others within ordinary interactions is enough to spread this light contagiously. The masses are being called to come together in the creation of new earth, and that begins with personal relationships and small communities where a genuine spirit of brotherly love, empathy, care, and enjoyment spread. That is enough to spark and guide the masses towards a new resonance. a new awareness, and a new system of shared values. That shared consciousness is then the bedrock upon which new social structures and ways of living can be built. The angels are inviting you to go within your heart and pay attention to what you're feeling most excited, interested, and passionate about. Even if the spark isn't the brightest, just give it breath and life, and that inner spark will burst into a bigger flame and give off a light that can guide many all around you. Set new intentions based on the inspirations you feel within, and know that truly this entire month is a powerful time to accelerate your dreams, move forward, and make things happen. Lastly, the angels want to encourage you towards spiritual action as well. With all of the fast-moving, energizing frequencies of renewal flowing through the world, you have the power to make a big, powerful shift in your state of consciousness by way of spiritual practices such as meditation, yoga, qigong, breathwork, prayer work, or any other spiritual action you feel drawn to. According to the angels, these practices have a huge potential to spread new vibrations like wildfire through your consciousness so that you can accelerate and strengthen your ability to ground and sustain a higher vibration. The angels' third message for this full moon cycle is that the divine feminine is rising. This is beautifully reflected by our Libra full moon, bringing in balancing forces that are helping to balance the masculine and feminine or yang and yin energies. It is also reflecting in Venus's entrance into its home sign of Taurus. The planet of divine feminine love, beauty, fertility, and grace is grounding divine feminine wisdom into the earth. According to the angels, many light workers are being activated at this time to awaken, heal, and uplift the presence of the divine feminine within. This is the side of you that is deeply intuitive, creative, and at one with the forces of nature and the universe. This is the part of you that senses and recalls the deeper spiritual purpose and meaning within the flow of life, and serves that purpose by prioritizing joy, passion, harmony, and love. As individuals embrace their divine feminine power within, it helps us to rebalance feminine and masculine in our world at large, including in relationships, communities, and societies as a whole. The past several thousand years have been marked by the imbalanced overdominance of masculine energy. When any energy is overdominant and out of harmony, it means that it has been infected with fear. For thousands of years, masculine consciousness, which is an aspect of consciousness that all of us hold, no matter our physical sex, has been suppressing the feminine for fear of its power. Because the masculine part of us is that part of us that creates structure, control, order, and organization, when it fears what it cannot control. The feminine is the part of us that channels the divine mysteries, embraces the enormity of what we cannot control or grasp onto with logic, and instead of resisting it, surrenders to the wilderness of the eternal divine soul of the all, trusting in its innate harmony and power. The divine feminine cannot be controlled. That would be like trying to control a wave crashing onto a beach. The divine feminine reveals the mysteries of the universe through surrender and invites us to hold faith over fear, to go naked and vulnerable into the unknown and trust the higher divine order so wholly that we begin to channel it. This is the beginning of brilliant creation. This power has been in us all along, and it is now being called to the surface to help us see the truth from a higher perspective and lead new lives. The rise of divine feminine wisdom is the key for the creation of new earth. Right now, that feminine wisdom is activating two very important specific things: compassion for others and compassion for nature. Feminine yin energy is very good at shifting us into a state of loving receptivity and compassion for others. Part of that feminine wisdom is that it senses not just the needs of the self, but also the needs of the group. It nurtures the self by nurturing others, because it is focused in unity consciousness. This energy has the power to be very healing for your relationships, so definitely take this opportunity to communicate and bond with those close with you. This is also the perfect time to engage in any act of service that gives you the opportunity to love, heal, and help others. This is one of the main building blocks of New Earth communities. And it is also the perfect time to tend to Mother Earth in some way, whether it's through growing a garden, supporting local farmers, spending time enjoying nature, or supporting an environmental cause. This wave of rising divine feminine energy is helping us to heal our relationship with Mother Earth and to awaken to our interconnectedness with the web of life. Many are being called to make a shift in their relationship with the earth by shifting towards clean, healthy living and eating. Choosing a clean, natural way of living and eating makes a big difference in helping to inspire and nurture New Earth communities too. So, explore any new ways of life to which you're feeling called and share the inspiration by connecting with others in it. Though we're seeing so much polarization and intense change in our world, the angels want you to know that you are truly the world's guiding light. Keep shining your light and trust that these changes are taking us all towards a new and very positive future collective destiny. Thank you so much for tuning in and receiving these messages today, and for liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. It is my honor to be connected with you. Know until next time that you are so loved and so very blessed.